Greetings everyone, it is me, Brandon, here with the Fralix Arms channel, and today's video is going to be a little impromptu. It wasn't really a planned out video, but by nature I am a very impatient person, so I'm going to be showing you how to install a free-floating handguard onto a Ruger AR15. Now this video is going to be filmed a little bit differently than what my past couple videos have been filmed like. I'm actually going to be pointing the camera and manipulating it like some of my previous videos. I'm going to get right into it, and I'm going to show you guys everything that you're going to have to do, and it is a doozy. Alright you guys, like I said before, I do apologize for the crudeness of this video, but this is the best I can do with what I have. So before we get everything kicked off and I start showing you guys how to do this, this is the free float handguard that I got. It's an AIM Sports, and I know what some of you guys are thinking, you know, that this is probably one of the cheapest free floating handguards on the market, and I have been wanting to put a free float handguard on my Ruger since the day I bought it. So the biggest problem that I've had is finding the correct gas block, and I thought for the longest time that the correct gas block had to be very specific, model specific. This is before I knew anything about firearms for the most part, and it turns out it doesn't. You can pretty much use any old gas blocks. It's just the way that Ruger pinned this front sight post in is it's different than a lot of manufacturers. Like Smith & Wesson, for example, they pin in from the bottom. Ruger decided to pin theirs in from the top. Don't know why, can't tell you why, but that's what they decided to do. So first thing that you're gonna have to do is I loosened the delta ring here. So you're gonna want to loosen this up because it's gonna be putting pressure on the front sight post, and for me, it made all the sense in the world. Let me move some things out of the way. It made all the sense in the world to loosen up the delta ring to relieve pressure off the front sight post, because you have to drive these two pins out. Now you may notice here I've got the pins out already, and so these are tapered pins. So what that means is that they're bigger on one end than they are on the other, and they come in from the right hand side of the gun. And what I mean by that is that the right hand side of the gun is the side is when if you're holding it and you have it shouldered, the right side is literally the right side. So they come in this way, so you have to drive them through this direction. So I got them out, and I didn't film that because frankly I had to go out to my shed and drive them out, because that is where my vise is. I actually had to take the lower off of my rifle and put it in my plastic vise blocks. They also came out fairly easy. I've been soaking them in some oil for the last couple days, so it really only took one good hard hit, and then I just tapped them out, and they came out fairly easily. So that wasn't too bad. So the next thing you're going to want to do is, you can't get this off with your little bird cage on up here, and I took my little AR15 tool here and I broke it loose already. So you're going to want to go ahead and take that off, and you can use a crescent wrench I suppose, but I bought that little tool, and they're super cheap. I think I may have gave I think I got this wrench and my vise blocks all for about 30 bucks for everything. So now I'm going to loosen the delta ring up all the way that I possibly can, and I'm going to take this old Picatinny setup off, and I'm actually really glad to be replacing this, because this right here, if it'll focus, these are supposed to have Allen head nuts, and well, I guess you'd call them screws, on each side, and this one's only got one because this one got stripped out. I don't know how that happened. I didn't put it on the rifle, so it happened. I was quite upset when I found that out. So now I'm going to have to take this bad boy off, my Magpul grip up here in the front. I'm going to want to reuse that. So from here on, the gas block should, in theory, slide off. Oh yeah. This is a good opportunity for a cleaning as well. Here comes the gas tube with it. And that's good. And to get this off, I'm going to have to take my smaller punch and punch out that right there, the little the roll pin. But that shouldn't be too difficult, hopefully. And I should be able to reuse this, and like I said, it'll give me a good opportunity to clean it up a little. And then this needs to come off as well. So that's that, and that'll give me a good opportunity to clean everything. And so now the gun is a bolt action. Cool, right? So with that being said, I have to put the new gas block on, and so I'm going to actually rob the gas block off of one of my other rifles, because it's a set screw type, and I haven't ordered a new gas block yet. But I'm going to remove the gas block off of my 300 Blackout because I know it'll work, and I don't shoot my 300 Blackout very often. So you can hate me if you want to, but I'm going to be robbing from another gun to make this one ready to go once again. So let me grab that real quick. Okay, so here's my 300 Blackout. Most of you have seen it, and it's just one that I built. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off its free floating handguard, and I'm going to remove the gas block from it. Everything else is going to stay on, so it's not like it could still function. It would just be a bolt action. So I'm going to do that real quick, and I will get back with you. So to take off this handguard is a Trinity Force handguard, and I really like it. It was honestly probably one of the most expensive parts I even put on this gun. This gun is more or less just a toy. I'm not super worried about it functioning at this moment. It'll function again soon enough. 300 Blackout's an expensive round to shoot. It's extremely expensive to shoot. So it's not like I'm going out to shoot this thing every single weekend or whatever. The 223, 5.56, however, that's a completely different story. I thought about actually putting this handguard on the Ruger, but I think I'm just going to stick with what I have for it for now. Okay, so now that that's all taken care of, this should just slide off, I'd hope. And as I knock over every single thing in my path, there we go, there's that handguard. I really do like this Trinity Force handguard. I did a little color fill job on it right there. And I'm actually going to put this back together because I am not going to be putting this back on until I get another gas block. So, and the gas block that I use is an Odin gas block. Yeah, it's an Odin Works. That's what it was. .750 style, set screw style. That's what this is. So without further ado, let's steal this bad boy. I'm starting to think that maybe it might just be easier to use the gas tube that's already on here, so I don't have to mess with taking all this stuff back out. But then again, I kind of do want to keep the Ruger as original as possible, but I could always just buy another gas tube. I think that's what I'll do. I'll just order a gas tube when I order a new gas block, so that way I don't have to mess with punching all the pins out and breaking stuff, because that's usually what happens. They are the same. So I'm just going to leave this be. I'm going to leave this be. This barrel is torqued on here to the correct spec, so I'm not going to mess with that at all. I'm just going to go ahead and use this gas tube, and I can put this gas tube through its paces because it hasn't really been shot all that much. As you can tell, it's not very dirty at all. So I'm just going to screw it. I'm just going to put it all back together the way it is. Now the only thing about the Ruger that I don't like is that on my other barrel, the set screws, I had dimples where I could locate the correct orientation. On this, I do not. So we'll have to figure that out. So the next step is I've got to take off the barrel nut, because the free float handguard comes with its own proprietary barrel nut. So I get to take this off, and that should be a lot of fun. If I can even do it. That's gonna be the real question here, is if I can even do this without putting it back in the vise. We'll see. Alright guys, so I had to go out back to my bench vise to get this off. It was on there real nice. So now that that's good, let's do an unboxing. Now that I have wasted a lot of time, let's do an unboxing real fast. Like I said earlier, for the money, these things are pretty highly rated. So I'm excited to see how well it holds up. It's really light. Feels good in the hand. Looks to be fairly well, well, I was going to say assembled, but these aren't assembled, are they? They're just, I guess they're just milled or cut, or however you want to say it. They doubt they're forged. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, I doubt that they're poured into something like raw molten metal, but really good, like a lot less sharp. That's one thing I can say about the Trinity Force over here, is that it's kind of sharp in some of its place. Like, it just kind of, I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm really glad that this is on here. That's for sure. That's one thing I can say. The Trinity Force is a 15-inch. I only went with a 13.5-inch on this one because I kind of wanted the barrel to be sticking out. Just a little bit different look. I'm going to see how well I like it. So let's put this fancy barrel nut on here that I don't have a way to torque down. So that's going on there pretty easily, like you guys can see it. Had it completely out of frame there for a moment. Alright, well, that's on there pretty good. Now we can just go shoot it, right? No. Let's see. I wonder if my tool has a section. Do you think that would work right there? Do you think that section would work to just kind of get it close? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's like butter. It's not the perfect size for it, but it will work for what I'm trying to do tonight. That's nice. Okay, cool. So it's not torqued by any means, but I'm going to torque it down tomorrow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the video here, and I'm going to take it and I'm going to get it torqued down to the correct spec tomorrow, and then I will finish this video up. So for you guys, it's just going to be like a snap of the finger. So I'll be back shortly. Alright everyone, so as you can probably tell, it's a new day. I'm wearing a different shirt. The camera angle might be a little bit different because I had to move it last night whenever I finished filming. But I got the barrel nut on the gun, and I got the barrel torqued down, and I torqued it down to about 40 foot-pounds of torque. And I was able to use my I keep wanting to call this my Glock tool. I keep using I used my AR15 multi-tool here to use it to torque it down, because it's got the little square hole to get a wrench in there. And so I torqued it down, and I put the wrench in at a 90-degree angle instead of putting it parallel with the actual wrench, because it would have multiplied the force by a little bit, because it gave it a little extra room there. So I did it as far as I know correctly. So I got that torqued down to about 40, maybe 45-ish foot-pounds, and as far as my understanding goes, you can torque them anywhere between 35 and 80 foot-pounds. So I just decided that would be good. I read a bunch of information on AR15 forums, and that seemed to be the general consensus. So I'm guessing that a few thousand people can't be wrong, so I mean, they can be, but for all intents and purposes, I'm going to run it, I'm going to test it, and if I get any negatives from all this, I'll be sure to let you guys know. That's the point of all this, right? So now that that's all done, all we got to do is put the gas block back on with the gas tube. So that's simple enough. We don't have to thread this through anything crazy with the barrel nut, because it's the way the barrel nut is. Actually, before we continue, I actually saw somebody do this. I don't know if this is correct or not. I don't know how truthful this may be, but I'm going to blow through the tube to make sure that it's clear. Sounds good to me. So I just saw somebody do that, and I thought that you know what, that's probably a really good idea. Just a little extra step there. So here, I should probably flip the rifle around so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. So I'm not trying to point the gun right at you, but you're going to want to get the tube in this small hole right here and make sure that it intersects with the gas key. And so you just got to wiggle it on there just a little bit, and it's in. There we go. So you just kind of want to make sure that the gas tube is fairly parallel. It doesn't have to be like dead on exact, but you want to make sure that the gas tube is not in any type of stress. So once you got that pretty well centered, we're going to start tightening this down, and then I'll line it up after I've got these kind of snug, so that way it kind of holds itself in place. I just want to turn it till it's barely touching. Alright, so that's that. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the I keep flipping the rifle the wrong way around for you guys. I'm sorry about that. I apologize. Next thing I'm going to do, because I know it'll work, is I'm just going to go ahead and put the good old flash hider on here, or compensator, or muzzle brake, or whatever you want to call it. Any of those, I'm going to put it back on here. You guys can't even see me doing that. I'm just going to thread it back on snug for now, and I'm going to do a final torque on it here in a moment. Make sure that crush washer is good. Alright, so that's back on there. So now, last but not least, the actual install of our handguard. So I put this on there last night, and I reckon it's going to work out pretty good in that position. So simply, now that we've got everything set up the way it needs to be, we're going to slide this bad boy on here like so. Just like that. I'm going to pull down on it with the handle and wiggle it slightly, and that feels pretty darn solid. I mean, that is about as solid as you can get. That feels really good already just out of the box. That feels fantastic. So it came with everything you need to put it on, all of the hardware. So even a wrench, it came with a little wrench like that. So that's pretty sweet. Go ahead and get these started, and it seems extremely solid just straight out of the box. Like, I mean, that's awesome. That's really great. Time will tell about the structural integrity of this handguard, but so far I really like it. I like the way it feels. This handguard feels better than my $150 handguard on my 300 Blackout, or however much that cost. It was something like that, because I remember it hurt my wallet. Oh yeah, that is awesome. That is solid right there. I tell you what, that is amazing. That is awesome, and it feels really good. Gosh, that is amazing. That feels awesome. I'm actually quite pleased with that. I mean, I'll link this handguard down in the description for you guys. It's 13.5 inch AIM Sport. I'm pretty sure I mentioned that yesterday, and I totally forgot to mention the entire reason why I wanted to do this. The whole reason I wanted to do this was because I wanted to be able to put a optic on here of some sort without having to put a rail riser on it to help see over the top of the stock gas block front sight. So even though the front sight, I mean the stock sights, iron sights on this gun were really good. They were pretty much dead on from the day I got it. I just wanted to be able to put something different on here if I wanted to, and not have to put a giant rail riser on here to help kind of stretch it over the top of that front sight. So that's really the main reason why I wanted to do that. And I think it looks really good too. I think it makes the rifle just look a lot more modern, a lot more sporty. And I should have done a weight comparison. I didn't even think about that aspect. It's so much lighter. It feels really good, you guys. So I think that's going to be it for this video. Oh, and I almost totally forgot. I almost forgot. Oh yeah, I wish I had a front sight on it. I say that now. Oh man, it's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good. I've been wanting to put a rail on this thing since the day I got it, you guys. So I am quite pleased with that. Good on AIM Sports for making a nice, well-fitting, great feeling, and affordable handguard. Honestly, like I'm gonna take this out and do my shooting segment. But I wanted to upload this video first, so that way you guys didn't see the rifle like this and be like, hey, wait a minute, is that the same rifle? So yeah, I am super pleased with it. I got this on sale on Primary Arms for about $37 and some change. So I mean, that's super affordable in my opinion. Like that's really awesome. And I got to keep the stock barrel. Didn't have to do anything weird. And as far as looks and feel, I'm quite pleased. 5 stars, definitely would buy again. But we're gonna take it out and shoot it pretty soon. And I got a lot of really awesome, cool content coming for you guys. Be looking out for the next video on this gun when we go shoot. And I will see you guys in that video. So until then, take care and have a great day.